from the studios of Hub Radio Phoenix, it's the Jay Lawrence Show. Now, here's Jay.
Thank you. And of course, the applause is for my guest, Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Great to see you, Jay.
I'm so glad you're here. We've known each other a long time. Let's get the book out of the way in a quick hurry. This is Sheriff Arpaio's book. It is an American legend, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, an American legend, and it's available. You've sold a lot of copies of the book already.
Yeah, I've done pretty good. I'll tell you, it's my third book, Jay, but I like this one better than all the other two.
Did a good story?
Great story, and I wrote that book like I was testifying in court. Everything I can back up that's in that book.
Well, you have had a real court time in court.
Well, we won't go into that. Prejudice.
We'll discuss it.
Judge.
Let's start with your law enforcement background. Joe Arpaio has a long law enforcement background starting in Washington, D.C., I believe.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that, Jay, because one problem I've had 24 years as sheriff, longest serving sheriff in history.
Absolutely.
Which sometimes I wonder how I survived. But I had another background. Nobody knew about it, and now they're beginning to learn in the book. So I'm a senior citizen. I was born June 14, Flag Day, the same day as my hero, Donald Trump, and joined the Army in 1950 when I graduated from high school, Springfield, Mass. Discharged as a sergeant. Then I joined the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police. They're all in the news again.
That's a tough one.
And walked the Black Beat for 4 years in D.C. Very interesting, with a nightstick and a blackjack.
That's it.
And I had many assaults on it. But then I went to Vegas for a short time, long enough to lock up Elvis. And then I went
What was that about? How did you lock up Elvis?
Well, it's a long and short story.
The short story.
The short story is caught him speeding 100 miles an hour on his Harley motorcycle. It's 1957. And he had a beautiful blonde. Of course, I was watching a blonde from my patrol car. I pulled him over. Oh, Elvis. And I took him down to the police station. I was going to book him. But then he started talking to me, and then he was doing some good work for President Nixon on a drug thing. So I gave him a pass. But to this day, I can't figure out who the blonde was. That's my big mission in life. Who was that blonde?
Who was on the back of the motorcycle?
I got some ideas. So I spent 6 months as a Vegas cop. And then I got a job through Washington, the Bureau of Narcotics, now known as the DEA. And I got sworn in Chicago in 1957, November, married my wife, who's from Virginia, but she came to Chicago, so we got married there. And I loved Chicago, I loved the cops, and made a name for myself. I got a double promotion. Oh, I remember the commissioner, when I got the job, said, "Oh, you're Italian." "Yes, sir." "Do you mind locking up the mafia?" "I'll lock anybody up. I'm not stupid. What am I going to tell them? I wanted the job, right?" So they sent me to Chicago. But I did such a great job, they sent me to Turkey. The only agent in Turkey and parts of Syria, you know, that's a hot area right now. And spent 4 years there. Got transferred.
And that was with DEA?
Well, it was called the Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs. I got 3 badges. They keep reorganizing for political reasons. But then I said to the commissioner, "Hey, I want a good job." So they sent me to San Antonio, Texas, head of the DEA there. I covered that Texas-Mexican border. Then they promoted me to agent in charge in D.C., Baltimore, and Virginia. And then I went to another reorganization, changed the name, and I went to Baltimore as a deputy regional director. Then I went to Mexico as the regional director. So I covered Mexico, Latin America, once again that border. Then I got transferred to Washington, then to Boston, and then I wanted to come out west. Of course, the guy that was in charge here didn't want to leave. He had governor's call and all that, but I didn't make it. So I spent my 4 years as head of the DEA in Arizona. Then I retired and joined my wife in the travel business.
Ah,
Of course,
you have a travel agency now.
41 years, longest probably around. So I worked for my wife for 10 years.
Was she a tough boss?
Well, actually, the reason I ran for sheriff, I never got a free ticket. So decided when I was 61 to run for sheriff. And I beat the Republican in the primary. And then got reelected all 24 years.
Who talked you into running for sheriff? Did you just make up your own mind?
Well, Jay, there was always people saying, hey, why don't you run for sheriff? I said, sheriff, big deal. And I was a federal guy. I investigated sheriffs. And it's a bigger story than that, because I had the travel account. And I didn't want to give that up, because it'd be a conflict of interest when you're working, getting money from the county, transporting prisoners and deputy sheriffs. So I wanted to keep that account. But the guy that took over took away my account. So, okay, all right. I don't have to worry anymore. So I ran against him. Nothing that's payback time, but he never should have taken away my wife's travel account. That was a big account. But I'm very happy on my career. I know I've had a lot of problems, but sometimes, Jay, you've been in a political business too.
Long time.
And someone said politics makes strange I don't know who the heck said that, but whoever said it, boy, were they right on that one.
You make a lot of friends, a lot of strange friends, people that wouldn't normally be your friends in politics.
Well, I'm a little disappointed. My mother and father came from Italy. I worked on the mafia all over the world. I'm proud of my background, proud of being, my folks coming from Italy. Legally.
You are the pizza pasta king.
Well, my father opened Italian grocery stores in
Right.
Springfield, Mass.
Right.
But I'm proud of my background, my ethnic background and so on. It was tough last year, and you went through an election same time I did.
Yep.
And I've always supported you,
Yes,
and I
you
always will, because I had something in my mind, and maybe that might be the reason that I was the first guy to endorse President Trump.
Let's talk about your relationship with President Trump. You were the first endorsement.
Well, first of all, I never met the guy. I heard of his hotels.
Right.
In fact, I did get a little note from him when I was sheriff years before over a certain issue that's in my book. But I never knew him. So 2015, July, month after he came down the escalator, he had a rally here. I got up there. Nobody wanted to get up. All these people running.
Yeah, you did.
Nobody wanted to get up
on stage
there.
then.
So I get up there. Hey, I introduce him. I said three things, actually four. Three things. There's a silent majority out there. Everybody started cheering, standing ovation. They had a standing.
It was a big crowd. It was a giant
10,000
crowd.
people, and they couldn't sit anyway.
Right.
When I said that, I hit a button. Then I said, we're born on the same day, Flag Day. And then I said, you are going to be our next president. Now remember, I never met him. Something told me, not because he was a celebrity, but I kind of analyzed that one too. Remember Reagan, all these
Sure.
guys became, and of course then I mentioned we had something in common, Obama's fake birth certificate, which to this day is hanging over me, and that's the biggest cover-up in history.
You know, you have been picked on quite a bit by the media, by everyone else, because of your investigation of the Obama birth certificate. You really worked at that.
Well, you know what? I made a mistake, Jay. And I must have been drunk on Italian olive oil. Because when I ran for sheriff, I ran against the incumbent Republican. I said the sheriff should be appointed and not elected. Come on. The first month in office, what a stupid mistake I made. I would have been fired a month after I took office if I had to report to some board of supervisors, governor. Made that big mistake. But that's okay, I admit to it, because then I learned that the office of the constitutional sheriff reports to the people, not these politicians. And I took that very serious. When the Tea Party came to me, 2011, and said, you're the only one that we can go to investigate Obama's birth certificate. Now, I'm not stupid. I was a top federal guy. They're asking me to investigate the president. It took me about 3 hours to give the decision. Anybody else would have said, that's an FBI thing, don't come to me. Or they would have said, I have to study this. I'll have to have conferences with my people. No,
Committees, you've got to have committees.
Committee, you know, the old game.
Right.
I made my decision. I am going to investigate that. And I did. And I've been around a long time, Jay. I know about conspiracies and garbage and all that. There is no doubt in a billion years if that isn't a fake birth certificate. And I said from day one, I could care less where he was born. He could be born on Mars. I don't care. I'm just going on a fake government document, period. And I stuck with that to the bitter end. And it's a fake government document. The point is, how come he hasn't been investigated by the feds or anything done with it? And Jay, you know me a long time. I almost feel like saying, which I can't say being a law enforcement guy for 58 years. I'm almost ready to say, Jay, if you have a fake document, you should be given a pass. Why should you be prosecuted?
No.
Why should you? No, I'm thinking of that.
Right.
Why should you be prosecuted when they give a pass to Obama? It's not fair. And by the way, if I locked up 250,000 illegals, how many do you think went to jail or were deported? The majority. Why were a lot of these people I arrested have fake documents? Social Security, driver's license. They go to jail. You got a guy that was a president with a fake document. Nothing happens to him. So there's something wrong with our criminal justice
What makes
system.
you so certain that that document was fake? Tell you what, let me take a very quick break. Our guest, Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I'm Jay Lawrence, and I'm glad you're here tonight.
You have a great business, terrific products, outstanding services. So where is everybody? It's simple. They don't know you're here. Why not? We didn't tell them. Well, let me introduce you to the Media Maven. She is the expert in getting your advertising message to the right people in the right places for the right prices. She can make your business a household name. She can make this claim because she's been doing this for years for large and small businesses. You need an expert who knows who to talk to and how to make the best deal for your business. She has the right radio and television contacts for your budget, whatever it is. That's Kathy, the Media Maven. She can put you on the map, the one that leads to success and prosperity. Call Kathy, the Media Maven, at 602-524-0947. That's Kathy, the Media Maven, at 602-524-0947.
When it comes to roof work, people ask, do you know a guy? Let me save you a little time and money. Call me. I'm Lori Clark, owner of Right Way Roofing. Our family started in the roofing business in 1963 on the promise there's only one way, the right way. We protect your roof with thick, waterproof, rubberized asphalt, not felt paper. So when it's time to repair or replace your roof and you need a guy, I'm your girl.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Are you tired of the long lines and impersonal service you get at the post office? Well, we have a solution for you. Pack Mail is an all-in-one mail center conveniently located in the Fry Shopping Center at 3218 East Bell Road, right here in Phoenix. Owned and operated by Arizona residents Mark and Vicky Battaglia, you can be sure of getting personalized professional service. They will pack, crate, freight, and ship your items anywhere in the world. They work with all the major carriers like DHL, UPS, USPS, and Federal Express. Need an address for your home business or startup company? They have P.O. boxes on site where you can receive and pick up your mail anytime, and their knowledgeable and courteous staff will find a way to ship that awkward or heavy item. You can even have your packages picked up and delivered for a small fee. Their motto is, if you can imagine it, we can ship it. Drop in on the good folks at Pack Mail and let them do the work for you. Pack Mail can be reached at 602-971-2300 or email at info@weshipphoenix.com. That's Pack Mail, 602-971-2300 or info@weshipphoenix.com.
You're watching Jay Lawrence on Hub Radio Phoenix.
Our guest, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, a friend of mine for any number of years, and I'm so glad you're here tonight. You were talking about the Obama papers and the fact that that was a fraud. What makes you so certain his birth certificate was a fake?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I'm not a computer guy. I have a Smith Corona typewriter,
Right.
along with my Smith & Wesson gun. And I have my, what do you call it, a flip-flopper.
Flip phone.
So I can't, operate all this stuff.
Right.
So I'm not a computer guy. I don't all this, but I had a great chief investigator, Mike Zullo, and he's the expert on the computers and all that. So, I led off the investigation. I gave 3 press conferences, took a lot of heat from everybody. But then it became obvious, a very simple thing. So when you get one paper with a lady's birth certificate, at the same time that he allegedly was born in Hawaii, and you remove 8 parts of this and put it on his, to me, that's very simple. Now, I went a step extra on this one. I wanted the forensic scientists to even go further and prove that that thing was put on there. I couldn't get anybody in the country to do that. Had to go to Italy and get experts in Italy to take it on. In fact, I think they agreed to do it as a favor, figuring it's all garbage. So when they do that and they looked at it, hey, that is a fake document. These are experts that testify before the Italian Supreme Court. And I had another guy in Hawaii that really liked Obama. He was an expert. He came up with the same solution. So I don't know what else you need for probable cause to look at a fake document.
You took a lot of heat, Sheriff.
And I continue to take the heat. But you know what? I was right. There's no doubt in my mind that that's a fake government document. I don't care where he was from, where he's going. I'm talking about a document. I will stick to that to the end of my life. And I took a lot of heat from all quarters.
Oh, you sure did.
So why? Why did they take all the heat? Look what's going on with the president administration. Look what's going on with all the corruption in China and everything else. What's going on with the law firm Perkins Coie that pumped in $3 million with George Soros to get me defeated in 2016. The same law firm that delivered the money to steal. That's the Russian case, if you remember. Same law firm that is appealed my my pardon, in the same law firm representing Obama, private law firm, that went to Hawaii at a certain time to pick something up. So I can go on this one. So I don't know, Jay. I'm not going to say I was wrong. When I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. I wasn't wrong, and that is a fake document, and I really go into it in my book.
You know, there are people right now who are trying to get you to do an exploratory committee to run for governor. Is that even one of your thoughts?
Well, you know, Channel 10, John Hook,
Right.
a good friend of mine.
Good guy.
And he's always said, because 2 times when I was sheriff, hey, I was thinking maybe I'll run for governor. Because the people wanted me to run for governor. Of course, John always said, yeah, if you run for governor, I'll cut my hair and all that, you know, that gimmick. Figuring I was just jerking around.
Right.
But I never did because I didn't want to leave the office. You have to resign when you run. You can't stay sheriff and also run for office like you do in the federal. So I decided to stay. So I never ran for governor. I stuck as sheriff. I'm one guy that stuck with what I did from the day one to the end. So I don't know how to answer your question. Of course, people will say, wait a minute, he's too old. Now, I don't know if I have to jump out of an airplane, which I hate flying and jumping out of an airplane.
But you look terrific. You're in good shape.
Well, it's the Italian olive oil.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Now, I do know one thing. I don't know if you had all your candidates on for governor. I'll outgun every one of them. They can't touch my background. No way will they touch. And I'll tell you another thing, I will make a great governor. And I will get along with everybody. That's my feeling. Now, whether I want to do this, my wife just passed away, and it was her birthday yesterday. And before she passed away, she said, well, whatever you want to do, because there's rumors I was going to run, you do. Now, I don't know if I'm going to ever do that, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of candidates running for governor going to get a little shaky because I'm still popular out there. I know it across the nation. I'm not bragging. I think I'm more popular now than I ever been. I can't believe everybody coming up to me around the country. I can't believe this. Maybe they feel sorry for me.
You make a lot of appearances now for other candidates around the country, don't you?
Well, you know what? I hate to say this on your show, but since you are a double shot, you're a show host and also you're a politician, which I always said that you would make a great politician. Because when you sit there, you're interviewing me, come on, you got to do a little studying.
Yep.
When you interview candidates. And I think you have to know something about the subject that you're talking about. So you, as a talk show host, probably knows more than all these guys put together with your experience. That's why I endorsed you years ago from day one, realizing you were very intelligent and also you know what's going on. That's why I did it, other than you're a nice guy. So
Thank you, Sheriff.
Yeah. And I'm not running for anything, so as a knowledge. But you never know with me. You never know. Now, I'm going to say something I should not say, but I think I'm going to do it because, you know, this is your show, not mine. I'm not interrogating you. I'm just bringing you up because things I'm saying, you're going to understand. You're going to understand. So I was disappointed in the last election for sheriff. And we were running together. You were running for state rep. And I know you were disappointed. You never should have lost. But why am I disappointed after all these years as a politician running for sheriff? It's very interesting that a lot of people turned on me. Republicans. Big boys, the big boys. And
Why do you think they did?
This is a good question. And I'll tell you, during the primary, they supported my opponent, the Democrat, before they even knew who was going to run in the primary. So why would they support my Democrat sheriff? Well, I was interviewed by the New York Times. And who is they? I'll tell you who it is. It's the owner of the Cardinals, the owner of the Suns, the owners of the Diamondbacks. All the owners gave $12,000 to the Democrat, realizing that I was a big ally of Trump, and my main mission of running was to help Trump. We had our plans, didn't work out. Why would they do that? Then the New York Times interviewed me, and they said, well, why is all these Republicans giving money to your Democrat opponent? And then he slipped and said, well, they don't want you back. You're too bad for the state, bad reputation. You know what my answer was? Maybe they ought to win a championship if they're worrying about the prestige of Arizona instead of selling McCain's beer all the time. That was my answer to them. And it's sad because I devoted my whole life, part of my life, to protect the people of this county and this country. And then they go after me. So I'm very disappointed, but there's other situations too. So they could have just stayed out of it. So you do know I'm not a fan of those teams. In fact, they couldn't even win the Suns this time around. So I'm not bitter, but here I am fighting for the people, and they turn on me. And I knew Bidwell's father, and they were nice people and all. Turn on me? Why would they turn on me? Because I'm too tough, trying to protect the people? Is that what they're concerned with? So the point is, these politicians, a lot of them, I hate to tell you this, but they will sell their soul for a vote. There's no more loyalty, seems like, in a political situation. Now, as disclosure from me, I never had a hero in my life. That's okay. People have a right to have their heroes. I never had one. I remember NBC interviewed me, and just by chance, 4 months before that interview, a couple of years ago, and they asked me, is John McCain your hero? And 4 months prior, I woke up and I told my wife, I finally found my hero. Who's that? Donald Trump. And I stuck with him. I'm not a flip-flopper. I support him from the heart, not from the political mind. I don't care what anybody says. It's not because during my trial, contempt of court, no jury, where they convicted me a misdemeanor a day before voting, and they said they're going to put me in prison. I could go on that one. But my wife came down with cancer, and she used to watch Fox, who, by the way, has blackballed me. They haven't put me on since a year and a half ago when Judge Janine said, well, we got to look at the Hawaiian situation. There was a problem. They pushed the button, missiles are going to land. We got to investigate that. And I said, really? They can't even investigate Obama's birth certificate. From that day on, blackball. And I knew all these guys for 24 years. Think of that.
You were a regular on all of those shows for so many years.
Why did they blackball me? I have something going on now that's probably the most sensitive thing in history, and I can't talk about it. But if you read my book, Chapter 10, you'll get an idea who an informer was. So that dovetails what's going on now, who that informer talked to now. Let me just say the informer played both sides of the fence. He's a fake.
You know, our border right now is wide open. We have a wide open border, and it's unfortunate. And I know that if you were sheriff, it wouldn't be a wide open border. You would stop the crossings for those who are illegal.
Well,
Tell you what, I've got to take a quick break. Our guest is Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I'm Jay Lawrence, and I'm glad you're here tonight. Thank you so much for being part of our show.
Are you tired of the long lines and impersonal service you get at the post office? Well, we have a solution for you. Pack Mail is an all-in-one mail center conveniently located in the Fry Shopping Center at 3218 East Bell Road, right here in Phoenix. Owned and operated by Arizona residents Mark and Vicky Battaglia, you can be sure of getting personalized professional service. They will pack, crate, freight, and ship your items anywhere in the world. They work with all the major carriers like DHL, UPS, USPS, and Federal Express. Need an address for your home business or startup company? They have P.O. boxes on site where you can receive and pick up your mail anytime, and their knowledgeable and courteous staff will find a way to ship that awkward or heavy item. You can even have your packages picked up and delivered for a small fee. Their motto is, if you can imagine it, we can ship it. Drop in on the good folks at Pack Mail and let them do the work for you. Pack Mail can be reached at 602-971-2300 or email at info@weshipphoenix.com. That's Pack Mail, 602-971-2300 or info@weshipphoenix.com.
I'm Senator Sonny Borelli, and when I come to Phoenix, I always want to be informed, so I tune into Hub Radio Phoenix. You want to be informed? I suggest you do the same. Make sure you tune in.
When it comes to roof work, people ask, do you know a guy? Let me save you a little time and money. Call me. I'm Lori Clark, owner of Right Way Roofing. Our family started in the roofing business in 1963 on the promise there's only one way, the right way. We protect your roof with thick, waterproof, rubberized asphalt, not felt paper. So when it's time to repair or replace your roof and you need a guy, I'm your girl.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
You have a great business, terrific products, outstanding services, so where is everybody? It's simple. They don't know you're here. Why not? We didn't tell them. Well, let me introduce you to the Media Maven. She is the expert in getting your advertising message to the right people in the right places for the right prices. She can make your business a household name. She can make this claim because she's been doing this for years for large and small businesses. You need an expert who knows who to talk to and how to make the best deal for your business. She has the right radio and television contacts for your budget, whatever it is. That's Kathy, the Media Maven. She can put you on the map, the one that leads to success and prosperity. Call Kathy, the Media Maven, at 602-524-0947. That's Kathy, the Media Maven, at 602-524-0947.
You're watching Jay Lawrence on Hub Radio Phoenix.
And our guest is Sheriff Joe Arpaio, one of my favorite people and one of my most respected guests as sheriff. Would you do anything about the border today, Sheriff? Would you, as Maricopa County Sheriff, could you close the border?
Well, I spent 38 years, and people don't understand. I didn't even remember it because I spent 38 years as a top guy on the Mexican side and also on the U.S. side, plus sheriff and all. I can go on and on. This is a great country. You think it's going to be difficult to shut the border if you really want to shut it? Of course. It's not going to be difficult if you have the will to do it. President Nixon, I ran an Operation Intercept with G. Gordon Liddy, 1969. He said, we're going to stop the drugs, we're going to go after Mexico, blah, blah, blah. We did. We stopped the drugs from coming over because the president said he's going to take it out on Mexico. So it worked, and that was years ago. Now, it is a difficult problem. I don't know if we'll ever really stop it 100%. Now, Trump did a good job in his 4 years, but the point is that I get amused about. Every time there's an election, everybody runs to the border. They stay in front of the chicken wire fence. I'm going to close the border when I'm elected to Congress. They haven't done nothing for 20 years. And again, they're doing the same thing. We're going to do this. They're not going to do garbage. The only people making out are the restaurants selling tacos or whatever they sell to all these politicians down there. All they do is talk. 20 years, they haven't done nothing. But we can get it done. And I've always been very positive, never surrender. And the governor has a lot to do about it too, you know. The governor has the same resources in a way, police, jails, you can go on and on. So I know what I would have done, and being sheriff for 24 years, I did my part, and I'm not even on the border.
Let's talk about those 24 years. Let's talk about things that you accomplished besides pink underwear. Besides pink underwear.
Which I'm bringing back, by the way.
Are you
I'm
really?
gonna start selling underwear to take the money to help the cops thrown under the bus.
I'm amazed that the police are being treated the way they're being treated, that people are defunding the police. I just saw an article today where, who was it? They said, we want to undefund, let's refund the police. They realized that their neighborhoods were falling apart without the police. Unreal. Let's talk about some of the other accomplishments of the Joe Arpaio sheriff, 24 years. What were some of the big things that you accomplished?
Well, one thing I think I did, the people didn't realize there's a sheriff in town. I think I elevated the position because of all the national, international, and I took a lot of heat on the tent cities and the way I ran the jails, but we did pretty good regardless of the so-called lawsuits they go after me on. And I'm just, I'm not a magician. I operate on two things, Jay. I don't have all these degrees and so on, nothing against degrees, but I operate on two things: life experience and common sense. I've always operated, plus I have a few guts to go after people. Yeah. But that's it. I'm nothing special. And don't forget, I was 87 when I left office. So I wasn't a young guy when I ran. I wish I would have run a little earlier. But I'm proud. I'm proud of my employees. I don't send my employees under the bus. I back up my employees, my deputies and detention officers, because you're only as good as the people that work for you. You can't do nothing if you don't have the people behind you.
1996, a poll showed you the most popular politician in the state. There were polls in 96 that said, and it was the first of many re-elections.
Yeah, I
But
guess
the
they like
people
my
loved you.
tent city,
Yeah.
getting tough in jail. But you know,
Talk about Tent City. That was a big move on your part.
well, when I took office, I said I'm going to put tents up, Korean War tents. Now, was the reason because of jail overcrowding? They give me credit for that. Well, he knew that he wouldn't have enough room. Yeah, I did realize at the time we only had 1.5 million people in the county. Million, maybe 2 million. And I knew that the population will start coming, which they did, and we probably needed more jails. But I put up the tents. Quite frankly, the reason I did it, to act as a deterrent. And when everybody in the universe would come to the tents, including 4 presidential candidates, loved the tents. And my answer always was, and thank you for your dedicated service, that if our men and women can live in tents overseas, these convicted criminals, they're all convicted in the tents, can do their time in the tents in 120 degrees. That kind of picked up steam with the public. And that got me going, plus a lot of chain gangs. I can go on and on and on. So I'll tell you one thing. I've had, I think, 2.5 million people come through the jail since I've been the sheriff. Where are all the problems? Nobody escaped from the tents. I had 500,000 serve time, including some sports people. I can go on and on. And where's all my riots? I had one disturbance in 2006. That's when they called me the most popular. And I had a so-called riot. And then I had another guy, father was very important, Norberg, where he died in a restraint chair. That happened that year. So I had all this heat going on. And still, I got 70, 80%. Now, that shows you that the people wanted something done. Because don't forget, I was only sheriff at 2000 for 3 years.
They wanted the law enforced.
Yeah, that goes way back. Now, today, it's sad. I've been raising money since I retired to help the cops. Larry Clayman and I, he's a conservative lawyer, Foreign America's sheriff. And our mission is to raise the money and take care of cops. I'm going to go to Chicago. I've been trying to get there. The mayor has been blocking me. And I want to do a meeting there, and I want to go patrol the south side.
The police just turned their back
That's right.
on that mayor.
That's right.
They so dislike her.
And what burns me up, not just in Chicago, you got these mayors, even chiefs of police, that only care about themselves. The minute a video goes out, everybody gets these videos and it gets on national TV right away. They're throwing the cop under the bus before they can even have a chance for an investigation because they don't want the heat. Now, Phoenix has the Department of Justice coming in now. Remember what I went through when they came in? You know what I told them? Get lost. Now, they're all welcome. Oh, we love Department of Justice. Come in. No, I'm the elected sheriff. So I told them they couldn't even prove why they were coming in, notwithstanding the fact that the first 100 days in office, Biden and Obama, I was their target. Why would they go after me in their first 100 days? It took them 8 years to get me on a Mickey Mouse contempt of court, same charge as a barking dog. But they got me. They got me. It's okay. But it's sad on the politics involving our cops, throwing them in under the bus. And I'm going to do everything I can to defend them. I'm reinventing my famous subject, pink underwear.
Right.
Sheriff, why did you put everybody in pink underwear? Well, I'll tell you what, for all you lawyers out there, you're not going to like it. I had two reasons. One was the official reason they were stealing the underwear, the white underwear. I said, nobody wears pink. I'm going to make it all pink. And then I said, that was illegal. That's right. But then I said another thing, because they hate pink. Why would you give them a color they like? Sold millions of pairs of underwear on my posse to help the posse for a good cause. It's coming back as a private venture. I'm selling the underwear again. Everybody sees I have my underwear. You know who else has my underwear?
Who?
See, I got a record. I keep a record of everything. How about the guy Mueller? Remember him? The Russian, the investigator, the Mueller. He did the investigation.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, he's been on TV every day. He's got my underwear. You'll be surprised who has my underwear.
Talk about the chain gangs. You were the first person, I think, to have women on the chain gang.
In the world.
Right.
Well, not the world, in the United States. Well, I'm an equal opportunity incarcerator. Why should I put men on a chain gang and not give the women a chance? They liked it. I had them burying dead bodies too. So, no. Now, I changed the uniform. They're all orange again now.
Right.
So I went with stripes. Why did I go with stripes? Because they were wearing the same color uniform. The doctors, the nurses, a blue scrub and all that. So somebody escaping, they're going to think it's a doctor running down the street. No, I put them in stripes. So anybody escapes, they know stripes. They got to be inmates. See, I got a rationale for everything I do. Everything, I have a rationale for doing it. But the biggest reason I do it is to help the inmates. You'll be surprised how many parents come up to me to this day. Thank you, Sheriff. My kid would not be here if it wasn't for you. We had great drug prevention programs too, but they hated the tents. And they come up to me, the inmates. I seem to be bumping into almost everybody I bump into, serve time in the tent. They thank me. Thank you for straightening me out. So that makes me feel good, you know. So
that was the first thing the sheriff did, was end the tents.
I slept in the tents twice. volunteer.
Right.
What warden or sheriff is going to sleep with the inmates? I did it twice. Of course, I didn't like the food, and I'm sleeping in the bottom bunk, and you got the inmates on top of me. But I'm the type of guy. If I want somebody to do it, I'm going to do it too. So that's the way I operate. I'm kind of a street guy. That's how I patrolling Washington, D.C. as a 21-year-old cop.
Our guest is Sheriff Joe Arpaio, and he is a pleasure. I'm Jay Lawrence. Thank you for being here. More to come.
You have a great business, terrific products, outstanding services, so where is everybody? It's simple. They don't know you're here. Why not? We didn't tell them. Well, let me introduce you to the Media Maven. She is the expert in getting your advertising message to the right people in the right places for the right prices. She can make your business a household name. She can make this claim because she's been doing this for years for large and small businesses. You need an expert who knows who to talk to and how to make the best deal for your business. She has the right radio and television contacts for your budget, whatever it is. That's Kathy, the Media Maven. She can put you on the map, the one that leads to success and prosperity. Call Kathy, the Media Maven, at 602-524-0947. That's Kathy, the Media Maven, at 602-524-0947.
When it comes to roof work, people ask, do you know a guy? Let me save you a little time and money. Call me. I'm Lori Clark, owner of Right Way Roofing. Our family started in the roofing business in 1963 on the promise, there's only one way, the right way. We protect your roof with thick, waterproof, rubberized asphalt, not felt paper. So when it's time to repair or replace your roof and you need a guy, I'm your girl.
We're Right Way Roofing and we do it right. We'll always keep you watertight.
Are you tired of the long lines and impersonal service you get at the post office? Well, we have a solution for you. Pack Mail is an all-in-one mail center conveniently located in the Fry Shopping Center at 3218 East Bell Road, right here in Phoenix. Owned and operated by Arizona residents Mark and Vicky Battaglia, you can be sure of getting personalized professional service. They will pack, crate, freight, and ship your items anywhere in the world. They work with all the major carriers like DHL, UPS, USPS, and Federal Express. Need an address for your home business or startup company? They have P.O. boxes on site where you can receive and pick up your mail anytime, and their knowledgeable and courteous staff will find a way to ship that awkward or heavy item. You can even have your packages picked up and delivered for a small fee. Their motto is, if you can imagine it, we can ship it. Drop in on the good folks at Pack Mail and let them do the work for you. Pack Mail can be reached at 602-971-2300 or email at info@weshipphoenix.com. That's Pack Mail, 602-971-2300 or info@weshipphoenix.com.
You're watching Jay Lawrence on Hub Radio Phoenix.
Our guest, Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Joe, the Justice Department has gone after you as they have never gone after anyone else. Why?
Well, I think it had to do with illegal immigration, especially under Obama and Biden, who's now the president, of course. And I think that was the reason. I really think deep down that George Soros with the $3 million and all that in 2016 went after me because of the birth certificate. They knew I had it. They wanted to get rid of me, figure I'd go away. So
You didn't go away.
no, so it's deeper than that. And I've been called a racist every day. Everybody's a racist today. I probably started that word. So they call me. I never talk about my family, but since my wife's funeral, my two grandkids went up on a stage and talked. And one is black and one is Mexican. So I never talk about it, but now that it's out, I mention, I'm the least racist guy in the universe. Having worked in the Middle East and in Mexico, my folks come from Italy. I love foreign people. I'm even afraid now to ask anybody where you're from, because right away I'd be racial profiling. And I like talking to people, where you're from then, and we start talking, oh, I live there, we live there. That's the way I am. It's gotten out of hand, this racial situation in our country, and it's sad what's going on.
Some of the things that you were accused of on the stops, when your officers were stopping Latino drivers in particular.
I had the authority to do that. ICE trained my people for 6 months. Most trained people, law enforcement probably in history, when you talk about state and local. And they got their authority, and they could act as immigration officers. And,
Yes.
and then we had 2 state laws, employer sanctions and human smuggling, that I had the authority to under state law. So I had the authority. So because my people stopped someone on other reasons, not just stop them because they look like they're Mexican, they never really proved that in court. They tried everything. How come when they put a ward out, the courts, that we will pay you money if you can show you were stopped by sheriff's deputies?
Right.
They advertise in Mexico. They spend tons of money to find people that will come into the court. Five people came in and said they were stopped. Where's all these people that my guys stopped? It was all garbage. It was a hit piece, and that's in my book, very sensitive stuff in there. That makes me wonder, why me? Maybe I'm the trophy. I could get up there in the highest building and I could say, I'm sorry, forgive me, I did the wrong thing. They still will go after me because I'm the trophy. They use me as a trophy, and it's been going on for all these years, Jay.
When you look at your accomplishments in all of those years at sheriff, what do you think are the most things for which you want to be remembered?
I don't know. They asked me that when my wife passed away, and what I would want to be on a tombstone on top of my wife. I don't know. I guess my favorite song is My Way, which I told Trump. He stole my song, you know. And I think and my wife did not like that song. I knew. She would never tell me, but I knew. And you know why? It starts out, and now the end is near. And when you or anybody asks me, have you had any regrets?
My wife sang that song with you.
Yes,
It
great
was
singer.
true,
You
yes.
was. And when all the media always says, oh, do you have any regrets, what you've done? My answer to that is, I'm going to quote Frank Sinatra. Regrets, I've had a few, but too few to mention. That's the way I look at it. And I did my thing. I'm not done yet. I'm going to the border next week, Texas, Mexico, Laredo, Texas, supporting a nice lady for Congress. And then I'm going to the border next month in Arizona. And I'm going to sell my book, and I'm going to give a 20% discount for anybody that pays me in pesos. So I'm going to the border. I've had a lot of cartels after me, and I don't talk about it now. I will talk about it when I go. Is the fact that the U.S. government and the Mexican government did everything in their power to keep me from going into Mexico.
Why?
For safety reasons, on contracts. But I don't care. I'm still going to go. I'm going to do the border first, and then my next mission will be going into Mexico to sell my books. See, I don't have a gun and badge now. I have a book, which is more powerful. It's a speech is more powerful than the 38. And I know talk show hosts. I have a lot of respect for talk show hosts because they can get out there, they can move mountains with their talk, what's going on. Most of them. Some.
I believe you could be a talk show host. The problem would be you have so much to say
Yeah,
that the
big
guest
Italian.
may not get a chance to speak as much.
Well, when they get me to talk, it's not just because of tense They get a comedian too.
Right.
And I don't prepare. I talk off the cuff. But I just talk and I make some fun out of it. You can't take everything serious. Got to throw a little humor in there sometimes. So I just caught fire. The fire is still there. And I'm not going away. I know I'm make a lot of people disappointed, especially next year when you have elections coming up. I already have people calling me. So if I'm supposed to be on the S list, how come people still want my endorsement? So
Very true.
I don't know what I'm going to do next year. I know one thing I'm going to do. I will never waver in a billion years, and I say it to everybody, and I said it earlier in the show. I'm going to do everything I can to defend President Trump, and I just opened up a PAC. I'm the chairman to raise money to try to encourage Trump to run again. So I'm not going away. And all these politicians that support Trump, okay, I'm glad they do. The Republican, most of them, some do not.
I think Trump appreciates your support.
Well, we have a strange relationship from day one. And, you know, I don't go to the White House or I used to appear for rallies all the time, but now I've been a little quiet because I'm not running for office and all that. But I just worry about what's going on in our country right now. And I can't understand. I've met Joe Biden. He's in my book. I talk about Biden. I testified before him in 1983
Really?
in Washington. He loved me then. Now, he's not going to love the book because I got a picture with him when he was passing through, and he was too stupid that the Secret Service forgot to tell him, hey, you're investigating that guy. That photo never showed up. Secret Service, oh, we lost the photo. Don't give me this garbage. The guy didn't even know he's investigating me and shaking my hand and all that. But, you know, one thing I can never understand in politics, why, out of all the Democrats in the universe, did they ever pick Joe Biden? There has to be some other good Democrats out there. Why him? No, I don't like to criticize presidents at all.
Name value.
Name value?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone knows
He's
his
been
name.
around. Yeah, he's been around 50 years. But now he's got some tough problems. He's listening to his cabinet, who probably don't know anybody. One thing he did right, though, I'm going to give him credit. Something I think for Trump should have done. He got rid of everybody. Biden. Anybody hooked up with Trump or Bush, he got rid of them.
Smart move.
Smart move, because I'll tell you with Donald Trump, I don't like it because there's enemy within. He went after the swamp. He can't get the swamp in 4 years. It's too powerful in Washington, and that's why they want to get rid of him. But he fought it, and there is a swamp. You want to call it bureaucracy, call it whatever you want. And I had 3 assignments in D.C. I happened to be close to the Attorney General in those days. Just happened to be in the right place at the right time. So we are a great country, Jay. We will survive. We always survive. But we got to do something today because we're going too far the other way.
Can Trump win if he runs?
I said way back, you're going to be our next president. And subsequent to that, I've been saying you will go down in history as one of our best presidents we ever had. I say that today, and I know he can win very easily if he decides to run.
Joe, there are so many people that want him to run, and yet this past election was so fraudulent. This past election was an absolute fake. Could it be that again?
No.
We're out of time. My guest, Joe Arpaio. I am Sheriff Joe is a friend. There's his book, Sheriff Joe Arpaio, an American legend. We're very glad to have had Sheriff Joe with us tonight. We'll see you all again next week. Thank you.
Hello, Arizona. This is State Senate candidate Anthony Kern, District 20. And when I'm out fighting the woke culture in Arizona, I like to listen to the truth. I like to listen to the real scoop. And therefore, I listen to Hub Radio Phoenix, and you should too.